Hey everybody, Picky Old Gamer here, and some more Switch stuff. From the Reddit website, we found out that Laura Kate Dell has been blackballed. So she's going to start putting out a lot of interesting things. Two things that came out. One, this is her article on letsplayvideogames.com. Link's going to be down below, so you don't have to worry about me, saying, oh, well, you're making this up. Is that the dock increases performance but not by extra hardware. Now, I've had a theory that it had extra hardware like another CPU, some type of augmentation, but let's read this. We have recently learned through a source at Nintendo connected to the organization of an upcoming hands-on press event that the Nintendo Switch dock does increase the performance of the handheld, but not due to any additional processing in the dock. So I'm taking her word for it because she's got a lot of information. Now that she's blackballed, she's going to start dumping this information out. So there's not any. So I'm going to go with her and believe that there's no extra hardware in her. But let's go with this. Keep reading. When the system is connected to the dock by USB Type-C, which we saw yesterday, and that cable has been taken down off the EB Games site, let you know that, the system's components will run at a higher clock speed. Need to facilitate 1080p resolution on the TV. Both video and power will be transferred over USB when docked. Plugging the system into the dock also activates small additional fan help with cooling when running at higher clock speed. This fan is in the rear of the dock, and there's a gap in the back of the dock. See this right over here? That allows the system's inbuilt fan to vent when docked. So basically this is going to have this, and there's going to be even more venting. Dock's incredibly lightweight. It does play a part in increasing system performance on the TV. It's designed to be cheap to produce. Intentions that sometime after launch, additional docks replaced be very cheap. And Nintendo, basically I'm paraphrasing this, on Nintendo's January 12th and 3rd, or the 13th, people could be able to pick these things up, go around, and then dock it again somewhere else just to show how versatile it is. So we had this person from Foxconn that said this is a 1080p screen. It's not. There's no sense in this being a 1080p screen. I'm sorry, 6 inches or so, you don't need 1080p. Second off, it's going to run at a lower clock speed. I said this before, but I thought there was some extra hardware. I'm wrong, but I was right. If you watch my earlier stuff, that it's 720, and when you plug it in, there's got to be a little chip or two. There's got to be a USB controller in here. There's a little bit of a board. It's not much, but there may be something that tells it, hey, you're docked. Oh, okay. And that CPU just cranks to full force, because when you plug it into the wall with a normal USB Type-C, it's 720. It's not going to increase. It's just going to charge. So this is going to basically allow for a pass-through, or push the video out, which again, USB Type-C is 10 gigabits per second. The HDMI will push out, and you got USB controllers in it, and it's going to tell the system, go to full power. And that's kind of cool. So it didn't have really the hardware that I thought it's going to have in it, and I'm going ahead and believe in her. You don't have to. Please take it with a grain of salt. But she and Emily Rogers has been right, and I think they've got they got their fingers on the pulse of this system. They've got the information, but you don't have to believe them. But what about the power? Well, the next thing she's talking about is report Dark Souls 3 is running on the Switch. From Software considering a trilogy re-release. Many have been warned since the reveal of the third-party Nintendo Switch developers partners that From Software have the works from the system. We got our sources telling us a little of that info. According to one of our sources, From Software has Dark Souls 3 running on the Nintendo Switch with a level of performance they are happy with. Now that probably tells you it's not going to be exactly like a PS4 or Xbox One, but this Dark Souls 3 came out on the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. It can't be that weak. It can't. It just can't be that weak if it's going to actually be running. I'm thinking this thing is around equivalent of a teraflop or so, maybe a little under the Xbox One. I think it's going to be damn close. They have not committed to releasing it yet, but discussions internally at the company have discussed the financial viability of re-releasing main 3 Dark Souls titles on the Switch with their DLC bundled in. Development on the Switch port has been underway for several months by a small team, with From Software waiting to see the initial sales data before committing to the ports. They want to see if the Switch is going to sell. It's going to sell. The plan would be for a Switch re-release of Dark Souls 3, if greenlit, to release the same day PS4, Xbox One, and PC receive the version of all DLC bundles. So, again, Laura Kate Dale is putting this out. You don't have to believe it, but if this is all true, and I do kind of believe it, this is all good. This, the dock, I was wrong, but it means 1, the dock is cheap. 2, the software or the hardware internally, it's going to probably run it at 720p, and it's going to make for better battery life. 3, when you dock it, it does come the software and the hardware just unlock and go to full speed. It's just like what I was talking about your laptops. You plug a laptop in, you can go into power management and tell it to go to full speed. That's what this thing's going to do. So we're going to have 2 different levels of performance, which the engine inside this that runs the Switch games, whatever, third party or first party, it's going to be a very, very it's just going to be very, competitive. It's going to have a lot of ability to do stuff. And think about that, Dark Souls 3. I'm not into the Dark Souls games, but saying you can run all those in the palm of your hand on the go. Everybody says, Skyrim, that's an old game. It is an old game. Dark Souls 3 isn't. It's kind of cool. Again, take this all with a grain of salt. You don't have to believe it, but I believe it. And I think this is kind of cool. So what do you think about these new Switch rumors? Is this rumors from Laura K. Dale? We're going to probably see a lot more from her. Now that she's blacklisted, she's even said she's going to dump a lot more stuff out. So stay tuned for any more Switch rumors and news. All right, everything down here on the screen below if you want to subscribe or share. Thanks for watching. Picky Old Gamer, out.